Well, hello and how are you? Thank you so much for your time, and we thank you so much for everything that is going on in this life. There are many things that do happen in our lives. Some of them are full of challenges, ups and downs, but they also give us hope and encouragement on how to do our things, trusting that tomorrow will be better than today. Now, I want to talk about achievement, and I want to talk about goals, ups and downs of life before you stand on your feet. Now, today we have our guest who will be telling us more about her journey towards success and victory, and she'll be letting us understand more on how to do things so that we may climb to the higher mountain of victory and hopes. Madam Liz Wanyoike, the CEO and the founder of NIBS Technical College, award winner, mother and grandmother. She's our guest today to inform us on her journey to the success she has today. Welcome to our show, Madam Liz. Now, kindly take us through your journey. How did it start and what inspired you to this?
Thank you very much. Anytime somebody talks about my journey, you know, it puts a smile on my face, knowing where I came from, the challenges I've gone through, and by the way, I love challenges. Challenges are the best lessons. You know, when you go through a challenge yourself, you learn on your next move. You say, I don't want this thing to happen. So for those people who keep on thinking on their journey, they think this challenge should be a lesson to where you want to be, what went wrong, why did this happen? And so my journey has been quite a long one, as you have explained. I am a mother and a grandmother, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of my family because all my children are working with me, and that is the pride of any parent, for them to be able to see that their children are there, and then your business can move on and on and on. Because I know my businesses, being the NIBS Technical College and the Emorry Hotel, those are two institutions that can grow endlessly, because the education will always be there, hospitality industry will always be there. So that is what I can now introduce myself as. I'm a teacher by profession, which perfects even my work better, which makes it better. So, and if you want me to start from my village, that village of mine where I was born and brought up, up to age 13. Age 13 I was in a village called Gabikene in Muranga.
That is central Kenya.
That is central, central Kenya. And that's where we went through the formation stage where, you know, you grew up as a child, you made friends from there, you went to church from there, the Sunday school, and also you were baptized there, you are confirmed there. So it is a village I like to listen and to think about, and it put a smile on my face. Then after that, my father had moved there because he was working, and we moved back now into where I grew up to be now until my marriage, and that is Kileleshwa. The Kileleshwa again is just about 6 miles from where we were before. Now, I can say my first lessons came from my village where I grew up, because I can say we were brought up for many years, for about 8 years, we were brought up by a single mother. My dad had been detained because he was a chief who also happened to be double agent, you know, for the Mau Maus, and then he was with the government, and he was caught, and he was really punished and thrown into jail. So we were brought up by my mother, and my mother was our trainer. My mother used to give us all the basics a young girl should know. She warned us about so many things, and you are beaten if you go contrary to her rules and regulations, because we are many, we were 10 of us, and being 10, you can imagine now she is having to deal with the boys, she is having to deal with girls, and girls are endangered. But for us, because we are grown up in very Christian home, we were easy to manage because I could see my neighbors or my friends in school. They were so free. And there was a stage some girls those days used to reach, and they what do I say? They become more grown up. You know, we used to be told that those ones now
they are more grown up.
They are more grown up than you are. So
Right.
you know, you separate from there. You don't want to mix with them so much. They don't want to mix with you. So we went those very many nice upbringing. Whereby us who are not supposed to go through that ritual were more into church, more into education, because we were not looking forward to to being married early. But because that is what used to happen to the ones who went through that ritual. So we then from there, from the primary, I was an average, above average, not among the best performer in school. I don't like to lie.
It's good. It happens to everyone.
But I used to work hard, very hard towards the end of the semester, and I ended up getting a good grade. I was admitted to Kahuya Girls, which was one of the best. In fact, in our village, we were only two who managed to go to Kahuya Girls. So then after Kahuya Girls, the normal high school life, the normal growing up as a teenager, and our upbringing kept on following us wherever we went, whether your mom is looking or not. We were being good girls and very disciplined, and with all the temptations of the boys, we managed to handle them.
Right.
So that was my high school. Then I went on to, I wanted to be a teacher. Unfortunately, I did not get admission to being, trained as a high school teacher. And I was admitted to a primary school teacher training, and I turned it down.
Okay.
So I looked for an alternative.
So you did not join the technical college for teachers?
Yes.
All right.
I joined I decided to do something different, and that's when I joined Secretarial College. I went to higher into Nakuru High School, where we are being trained as secretaries.
All right. Okay.
So I studied there for a year, and then that 1 year and a half, I was lucky. I say if you pray too much, God will hear your prayers. And you can imagine from nowhere, some Canadians came from all the way from Canada, and they came to our school now and say those who want to be trained as business teachers can join Kenyatta College, then Kenyatta University now, and be trained as high school teachers. I was so happy.
So your prayers was answered?
My prayers were answered after all that journey. So there I was, and I joined Kenyatta College. There, normal life, normal college life, like any other young girl growing. And then we completed, and by the time we completed, I did not want to go back to the village because life in the village,
it was very tough.
was tough. I did not want to go back into fetching firewood, going
and those
to draw water.
in the village.
I felt now I'm educated. Why should I go back to the village? So in the meantime, we used to be given some money at college, and some pocket money here and there. So I managed to enter into a hostel, waiting for posting. And fortunately, towards the end of my college, I had already come to meet my late husband. So he removed me from the hostel and made me his wife.
He
like
removed
that.
you from the hostel and married you.
And married me.
Okay.
I didn't know I was getting married.
It was just like a drama or
I
a joke.
thought I was visiting. I realized later that was what you call marriage.
All right.
Because honestly, I hated going back to the village.
Right.
And I didn't wanted to move on. And I wanted to teach in a nice school.
Okay.
And if maybe a school like Kahuya or any other. But then I couldn't go to Kahuya because they had not started, the other was not too far. So I got married. And I started a family. I was spotted to a high school in Kipsigis, which my husband now did not want me to go because I already now expecting a baby. And I was posted to State House Road.
State House Road.
Yeah. So I thought for some time after I had gone on maternity leave, I did not go back. I stayed home for about 2 years to take care of my baby. And from that staying home, my husband was okay. He was providing us with everything. But I had this urge in me. My mom was hardworking. My mom had trained us to work hard. And my dad also wanted me to be a teacher. And I felt that, no, I need to go back to teaching. So I went back to teaching. So I was teaching at the same time I had my family. And I was there, I was married. I had 3 kids. And my marriage lasted 27 years.
27 good years.
27 good years. But something happened. And something went wrong, and the marriage broke after 37 years. And I was left...
With children?
No, the children were now big. 37 years. They are all out there, except the last born. Last born was still in high school. And so, but he was completing his higher section. He was in a GC kind of school. So we also sent him out and went to Canada to complete his education. So my challenges were, our breakup was very bad. And I walked out with nothing. I just walked out with my handbag.
And your clothes, some clothes, I guess.
And some clothes. And I went back to the hostel. Then from the hostel is when I managed to get some more of my own clothes, but that was all.
Okay.
No money, no house, nothing. And within that period of time, we had developed a lot. Okay. I had done a lot. So I used to buy some small plots here and there out of my salary. And but my husband did not a business person. Okay. He was a CEO, and he wanted now to get into politics. So, but I left everything behind. And I thought my life was finished. I was depressed. I went into a depression for quite a period. But then one day I woke up, I thought about what had happened. I cried and cried for 4 hours.
4 good hours.
4 good hours somewhere. I was driving. I stopped the car when I started thinking, where am I going? I stopped somewhere and I cried for 4 hours. And I told God, after having taken care of me all this time, given me a challenging life, what I used to do, you know, those people who have lived, who are living those days, they know. And again, I found part of the emergency, you know. And when I was a small girl, the Mzungu was still disturbing, you know, was still working on people, killings. There were many killings. So I had seen a lot of things. And I told God, I was not meant for this. But since I'm here, you have to guide me. And I prayed and I prayed and I cried and I cried. That's the time when I talked to my friends. They told me, here, don't worry, they cancelled me. Okay. And then I decided, what can I do? All right. And then I decided, oh, I still have my certificates. I can go look for a job. Or better still, I can sell some of the plots I bought in Roy and somewhere else. I can sell them and start my own college. And I also had my savings. I told you my husband was providing everything. So all my salary was in the bank. Okay. I used to, of course, help out somewhere. And I was still very generous. I used to give people, I meet my friends, and I go give them a lot of money. Right. And
but still you managed to have some savings.
And I still managed some savings, yes. So that's how NIBS started. It started, you know, instead of looking for a job, I met up with my friends, and we decided, why can't I start a college? And that's how NIBS started.
That's how NIBS started. And who are these people that believed in you and supported you? Did you have any support from either friends? Because at the end of the day, when you're starting something like this, you needed people to give you guidelines and the steps on how to follow, or you knew what you wanted to do.
I always think that God had seen my work where I was as a wife, as a mother, because I was supporting so many people. I was taking care of my family and I was taking care of my husband's family very well. They all loved me. But I felt that, those are the people who are going to give me the encouragement. And some of them did. My sister stopped where she was working and she came and joined me. And then there was the bank manager of my bank. He's called James Mwangi. James Mwangi, you all know.
The current one with Equity?
Yeah, the Equity.
All right.
I had saved my money. I had transferred my money to his building society.
Oh, okay.
So he was also a very big booster because he was the chairman of the committee that started Nairobi Institute of Business Studies. So he's the one who was now guiding us on how to start a business. I wasn't there. But somehow I seemed, I don't know, I seemed, because I had run another college.
All right.
So I knew, which was a partnership, which I lost everything there. But so he came as the chairman, and then there was Rachel, my sister. Then there was another guy who was an architect and a structural engineer combined. He was called Alex Mureithi. And then some other friends of mine, some schoolmates.
All right.
We formed a committee.
Okay.
So James directed me to where to go to South Africa. There was a nephew of his who could help me buy typewriters. You know, manual typewriters those days. This is year 2000. Those of you who are listening and they don't know manual typewriters.
Yes.
That's what we were using as secretaries, you know, and we could type.
They used to make a lot of noise in the office.
We could type faster than, than the computers. So that's the college. That's when I started NIBS, Nairobi Institute of Business Studies.
Right.
In the year 2000. Then I was like, I think I had prayed too much, and God was always on me, and I loved God in my own way.
Yeah.
And so that's how NIBS started. And NIBS, with the James Mwangi and Alex Mureithi and me as the leaders, we started, you know, I came back with these typewriters. We had found space.
All right.
Even finding a nice space was a miracle. Everything to me was just happening.
As you planned.
As I planned. And anytime I analyze why my things was doing so well, because I had done a lot of good to so many people behind me.
Yeah, right.
And I was helping even when I was in this other institution. And so God was now focused on me. You have done this in your life, so now we are going to do this. Right. And ask and you are given. I asked. I told God to give me this institution, but I was not expecting where we are today. And so we started, and the usual, you know, usual setting up. Those people who would want to come to my office, and I tell them how to start a school. It doesn't matter, you know, we have so many kids out there.
Yeah.
There is enough for everybody. And we say in Kikuyu, there is enough for everybody.
There is enough always for everybody.
So anybody who wants to start a school, either a college, a primary school, a high school, just come to me. Because I know I have the knowledge. That one, it is no secret. So we started, and we started very well. And that's why NIBS, I knew what the parents wanted. Because that's what I wanted for my children when they were going to school. I wanted perfection. I wanted my students to learn. I wanted them to be encouraged. I was involved. I wanted the other parents to be involved. I had to give them facilities. You don't expect to tell somebody to type, and there is no typewriter. Somebody to run computer, and they are using 10 computers or 5 computers. One computer.
Yes.
So I knew as a parent, if you are getting some students to bring them to where you are, what is needed? I knew all that because I had my children. And I had visited them in US, and I'd seen how happy they were. So I said there is enough for everybody, enough happiness, enough money for everybody. All you have to do is have a dream and wish for it. So NIBS started, and it grew very fast, too fast. I had to move on from one building to another, from one to another, because we would outgrow, we outgrew Pioneer House up on Emorry Avenue. We moved to Cooperative Bank House. We outgrew it, and my lease was also to be cancelled. So we had to just disappear from there, and that's another lesson. When I joined, when we went to Cooperative Bank House, it was a very prime building. We had so many even students, so many students. It was prestigious. And you know young people like to see nice things.
Absolutely.
So they did not expect this school to be such a big school and growing and growing. So it was giving stress to their lifts and the queues, and there were some government ministers in this same building. So they started complaining. So they wanted to evict me, and they told me they're going to cancel my lease. And I didn't know where to take all these students. They had gone to almost 1,200 that time. So I didn't know what to do, but I prayed again. I turned it to God. God, you are the one who started this project. It's working. Please, make it work. And that is the time I thought, I went to court, I won the case. When I won the case, I told God, okay, what I'm going to do, I want you to help me now. And you know, God does not just help you. He wants you to act. He tells you to act. I want to have my own place where I can build my own school. By the time I'm out of here, Lord, where am I going? Am I continuing
You needed to have your own property.
My own property. And I can tell you, by the time we finished, we moved from the Cooperative Bank House. We moved to Gara temporarily, although we had to have a center in town. I went to Roiro. You know, that time, Thika Road was bad. It was congested, it was dusty, it was not quite okay. And where I went in Roiro, there was nobody. There were no people. There were no buildings.
It was just a mere desert.
It was a desert. And my friends were asking me, Lizzie, are you moving from Nairobi to go all the way into a bush? Who will come to your college? I told them, I don't know. God has directed me
to that place.
To that place. So my direction to choosing there, even me, I can't tell you, but I just wanted my own property. And that is what I want. At the same time, you know, when I still had very little money, I had bought some shares at Equity Bank. That's the time I was working. I had saved and saved, and we had some money in our account, which James advised me to buy shares in Equity. So we had bought shares. That was within these years when I was at Cooperative Bank. So when I bought this land, I sold the shares, and you see the building you see there. That is the money I got from Equity Bank. It was a lot of money. So miracles is like they were working. So I put up the NIBS where it is, where we are still developing. We still have the campuses. The one in town is still there. Although we had moved from Ronald Gara to where you were, we are now in another place, and that's where we are so far.
All right, that's a good one. When you work for the Lord, you enjoy seeing the outcome. We say serving God through humanity is what you've been called to do. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you.
We were talking to the CEO, the founder of NIBS College, and the Emorry Hotel where we are, and we are honored to have her. Thank you so much for your time, and we pray that next time when we meet, we'll be having much and more to inform you about the education sector and the women that are changing the lives in this continent. Thank you, and God bless you.